Welcome to Watches with Dennis, and today I'm reviewing the Tissot PRX. This watch is from my personal collection. It was purchased new, and I've owned it roughly a week at this point. The PRX is something of a revival, borrowing a lot from one of Tissot's C-Star quartz designs out of the 1970s, specifically 1978, in terms of the case shape and the integrated bracelet. So let's go ahead and take some measurements. Watch diameter, I'm getting about 39.8. This was listed as a 40 millimeter watch diameter. Lug to lug, I am getting 44.6 millimeters. It's a little bit tricky because there's a fixed end length that starts to bend down, and I don't know whether or not we want to count that or not. We wouldn't normally count part of the bracelet. However, you can't really remove that. But if you want to count it, it runs more like 50.7 millimeters. For watch thickness, I'm getting about 10.6 millimeters. In terms of lug width, it isn't really applicable to this watch because of the integrated style bracelet. I say integrated style though because Tissot has made it so that you can get other Tissot straps to fit on it. I have read that the lug width of their sort of proprietary system here is approximately 12 millimeters. The Tissot PRX does have 100 meters of water resistance. Now, in terms of the dial, there are several dial colors available for the Tissot PRX. And that's without even considering the 35 millimeter quartz options, which have recently come out, and the mechanical PRX choices, which have different dial designs. This model obviously employs a blue dial with a sunburst effect. There is a marker at each hour, and all of those are loomed. The central seconds hand is not loomed, but the hour and minute hands, which are in the baton style, are loomed. The crystal is sapphire. There is an unframed date window at the 3 o'clock position. And in terms of the labeling on the dial, just beneath the 12 o'clock position, you can see the word Tissot followed by 1853. And above the 6 o'clock position is the PRX branding. Get the hands out of the way there so you can see it better. There you go. And then flanking the 6 o'clock hour marker is the label Swiss made. The lume used on this watch is Super Luminova, but it does seem to be very thinly applied, and in my real-world experience, it does not last very long, especially on the hour markers. But let's go ahead and I'll drop in some footage of the lume after it was freshly charged. The watch case itself is stainless steel. Tissot has used what I've found to be an interesting mix of mostly brushed surfaces, but with some polished elements. The bezel is polished, as are the ends of the links. And with the latter in particular, I think you find that the bracelet offers a lot of play with the light as you move it around. The bracelet does lack micro adjust. However, I do like that the butterfly clasp can be closed either side first. There are a couple of half-sized links towards the butterfly clasp that will allow you to get a finer adjustment than just the regular sized links. And the removable links are secured via cotter pins. This watch uses a non-screw down push-pull crown. It does still have its 100 meters of water resistance, even though it's not screwed down. Something I've noticed Swatch Group is fond of doing with some of their watches. The T logo is on the crown itself, and in position 0, the crown spins freely, but it does nothing functional. If we pull it out into position 1, we will be able to quick set the date. And in position 2, the watch hacks, and we are able to set the time. This watch runs with an ETA F06.115. That is a quartz movement with 3 joules. It's powered by a 371 button cell battery. The movement has an end-of-life indicator, which when the battery is low, the second hand will jump only every 4 seconds instead of every second to let you know it's getting close to time to change the battery. As this watch uses a quartz movement, I am unable to read its accuracy via my time grapher. The F06.115 is noted as being an entry-level quartz movement. I've read online that its accuracy range is in the minus 0.3 seconds per day to plus 0.5 seconds per day. I'm not able to confirm that. I can say with my time with the watch, I've not noticed any issues, and it's as accurate as I would expect a quartz to be. And here is the watch on my 6.75-inch wrist. So what are my overall thoughts on this watch? I would say the positives are it is affordable, it's well finished for the price point, and it's comfortable to wear. And the main negatives would be imperfect alignment, the date not being framed, the lacking in lume, the cotter pin usage, and that it's a quartz movement. So Tissot currently sells the PRX on its website for $375. As such, the PRX really packs a lot of punch at its price point. The brushed and polished case and bracelet I think look really good, as done this sunburst dial you can see. While I would have preferred a band with a bit more adjustment via maybe micro adjustment, or if you want to take a page out of Zodiac, they have a bracelet system with the butterfly clasp, which sort of stretches at the clasp point, which I think is really, really cool. Ultimately, I was able to size my PRX to be quite comfortable, so while some others of you who are looking at this video might have issues, I did not, so I only have positive things to say about its comfortability. However, there is only so much that Tissot is able to do at this price point. So while most of the time my second hand does seem to strike the markers, it does not always hit those dial markers. And while mechanical movements can cloak this with their sweep, it is very obvious when it comes to quartz, and I am sure that that will bug a lot of you. I would have preferred seeing the date window to be framed on this watch. I'm not too surprised that it isn't given the price point. However, I believe on the historic Sea Stars they were framed, and I do think the lack of a frame and it just being a cutout looks a bit cheap. The lume on the watch does seem evenly applied when I looked at it glowing, but it is thin and it does not last long, so this is not a good nighttime watch. In terms of the bracelet, while I greatly prefer cotter pins over a pin and collar system, I do find cotter pins far more frustrating than screws, but again, I'm in no way surprised that they were used at this price point rather than screws. And finally, I want to talk about the use of quartz. To me, it's more of a neutral point than a negative, but I think a lot of collectors, and in my mind, the Tissot PRX is really targeting collectors. I think a lot of them are going to be put off by the fact that this watch is powered by quartz, even though quartz, as we all know, offers more accuracy and is also a major way that Tissot was able to hold the price down. Incidentally, Tissot does make the PRX Powermatic 80 for those of you who want a mechanical movement, and also, incidentally, if you would like a framed date window. Those do start at $650 on bracelet at Tissot's website at the time of this recording. Overall, I think you get a lot of watch with the quartz-powered Tissot PRX. I decided to get one because I wanted an integrated sports bracelet style watch, but I wasn't sure how much I'd actually like the design, if I'd enjoy wearing it, what it would look like on me, and so I thought this was a really budget-friendly option to take a look at. To me, the quartz made a lot of sense because it held the price down, and I think if you can mentally get past that, there really is a lot of watch here to enjoy. Yes, compared to higher dollar watches, you will probably notice a lack of refinement in the finishing and such, but at the inexpensive range, especially below $400, I think this looks pretty good. Thanks for watching this review video. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like as it helps the channel out. Subscribe if you'd like to be automatically notified when I release new videos. Thanks for watching and have a great day.